sir.
Okay, so
This call is now recorded.
the long-term development plan of the Duterte the present administration up to some years. Now, so what is their okay? So they come up with the dream of the community. So it's actually based on vision and mission, goals and objectives, and then the plan is from 2017 up to 2022. So for aspiring Filipinos, they come up with a vision up to 2040, which is the long term, the matatag, maginhawa at panatag na buhay. Okay? So the ambition 2040 signed by Duterte under Executive Order number 5 series of 2016. So that was on 2016 when he sat as a president. A 25 long-term vision, okay, set as a guide for development planning. So it's also known as the ambition natin of 2040. Okay, so the strategic policy programs and project over 25 years, one of which is the building of a prosperous, predominantly middle-class society where no one is poor. So that is their vision. But to achieve this, there are several steps which we will discuss next meeting after discussing this one. Okay, promoting a long and healthy life. Okay, becoming smarter and more innovative, building a higher trust society. So these are the vision which will be realized later by coming up with several programs. Now, the Philippine Development Plan of 2017 to 2022, okay, the outcome is the Philippines will be an upper middle income country by 2022. Okay, excuse me. Similarly, the economy now of Philippines actually rises, okay, from lower to higher, which probably by 2022 this will be realized. The growth will be more inclusive as manifested by a lower poverty incidence in rural areas from 30%, okay, to 20% in 2022. Lately, prior to the present administration, there was a program actually of helping the poor, but although there was an increase in our income in terms of GDP, but this was not felt by the poor. So there is an income, but probably those who become rich are those belonging to upper class. So those in the lower class did not feel the increase of an income. So the solution is to address the problem, okay, of the poor people by coming up with programs which probably address the problem of poverty. Now, the Philippine Development Plan, okay, the framework is the Philippines will have a high level of human development by 2022. The unemployment rate will decline from 5.5% to 3.5% by 2022. But because of the pandemic, this may not be realized. But we will see later on, maybe by 2022 or after 21, if the economy will rebound. There will be a greater trust in government, in society. So that is what they project. But later on, there will be several programs to realize this. So individuals and community will be more resilient. Okay. So what does that mean? So there are many departments now created to address the resiliency, like typhoon and other calamities. So instead of we will be more vulnerable, there will be many casualties. There is a calamity. Because of this program, probably there will be no more victims of calamity. In what way? Okay, as you can see lately that if you are a mayor and you cannot be seen during the typhoon, then you will be required to answer um, a to answer a complaint from the administration, like what are you where have you been during the pandemic or during the typhoon? Okay, so you should be visible to the people during the calamity. Filipinos will have a greater drive for innovation by coming up with several scientific inventions, innovations, and discoveries. Now, so this is the pillars. Okay, there are three pillars for 2022, which is to lay down the foundation of an inclusive growth, high trust and resilient society, and globally competitive knowledge economy. In what way? This will be achieved by the malasakit, okay, enhancing the social fabric. And then we have for pillar number 2, pagbabago, okay, inequality, reducing transformation. So there will be probably equality between rich and poor. After all, those rich people who benefit, who got money from the poor, they should be given at least an equality. Okay, the reason why they become rich is because of the laborers. So perhaps the higher income or higher salary will be enforced. And then we have the pillar number 3, patuloy na pagbago o pagunlad, increasing growth potential. So how this will be achieved? Okay, look at below. There are 4 backbone. Okay, ensure peace and security. Okay, so in the end, that will enhance the social fabric, and we also have both accelerate the strategic and infrastructure development. By having peace, then development will continue. Okay, and we have ensure ecological integrity, clean and healthy environment. And then we have ensure safety and building resilience. Build resilience. Now, how to ensure people-centered, clean and efficient governance? They have to reduce corruption. In what way? Filing several cases for known, okay, or potential corrupt politicians, achieve seamless delivery. For example, when it was known that if you come from other country and you reach Philippines, in airport you will be planted with a bullet, okay, to solicit or to rob from you so that you will not be in prison. You just give him money because there's a bullet in your bag. Okay, having a position of that is a criminal offense, and you have no other choice but to give money to those who put the bullet in your bag. Okay, so it's known as the tanimbala. Okay, I don't know if you've heard of that. It's a practice in the airport where they're going to put bullet in your bag. So you have to be very careful. Seal your bag when you go out or when you enter Philippines. Can you imagine our image at the time was is not good. Okay, so that's why President ordered that if that will continue, all of them will be replaced or they will be terminated. Okay. Now, enhance administrative governance. Okay, to fully engage and empower citizenry and to strengthen civil service. Okay, so they are going to clean the government by having people who can be trusted, not those people who love for money. After all, when you analyze all this, why are people doing illegal acts, getting money from others, compelling them to give you money by putting a bullet in their bags, is about what? Their intention to have more. Okay, in fact, countless times I keep on discussing to students I have that, the reason why we have corrupt governments because of our desire to have more. We wanted to become popular. We wanted to be praised by somebody. Okay, without that wants or desire, probably we can have a good government where people will not desire for money. Okay, so imagine why are they corrupt? Because of the desire to have more. So it's actually an Indian belief. Okay, a Buddhist belief that the reason why we have problems or poverty is because of the desire to have more. And so the only solution is to eradicate that desire. Okay, so in China it's called the golden mean, or golden rule. The golden rule is, or the golden mean is simply you go into the middle, the mean, the average. Do not go beyond. Okay, so there's also an equivalent of that, the golden rule. The golden rule is, do not do unto others what you wish them do unto you. But when we train the administrative head in Capitol, when the professor asked what's the translation of the golden rule, do unto others what you do not wish. Do not do unto others what you did not wish to do unto you. Okay, this said that translation of that is, ayaw ko nung pag-ana para dili ka anaon. Well, that's a bad translation. Okay, but there's a negative line of that, and that's another positive. Do to others what you do not, what you do wish them do unto you. To fully engage and empower citizenry, so we must be participative. Okay, there should be an engagement. We should not let corruption flourish. In what way? You can even call an 888 and they will certainly reply. Okay, it's a number that you can dial if you are in trouble. Okay, it's like an emergency or as a hotline. It's like Rescue 911. Now, to strengthen civil service. Okay. Now, how to strengthen civil service? Of course, this is not in their program, but I think in the civil service, what they should do is that they should only promote those who belong to the line. Meaning, if you are working in that area, you should be promoted. Not that because of politics, somebody will be hired as the head. Okay, although that's part of politics, but it cannot assure improvement. Why? Because these people that they put as the head may not actually understand what's going on because they come from other area or other field. Okay, so it also cannot solve the problem. Why? Because aside from they come from other agency and they do not understand, it also shattered the promotion of those who are in the service. Okay, like supposedly when you work for a long time, you should be promoted. Okay, as far as the labor law is concerned. Here comes a policy in the civil service where politicians can even put department heads, okay, out of nowhere. Probably these are the people who lost during election, okay, and as out of indebtedness or them for their contribution during election, but unfortunately they lost. Okay, after 1 year, because of the one year ban or prohibition, they may be appointed as a head. Okay, so it's part of politics, but that kind of politics may not actually good. Why? Because aside from it cannot promote those who are working in the office for a quite long time already, the people who will be there cannot understand and cannot make, of course, innovation. Okay, take it from me. I've been in government for quite a long time, and then there are people that they put because the politicians are. It's the power of politicians to put heads or department head. So what they do, they cannot really understand. So they cannot make innovations. They cannot understand the problem down below. Why? Because they do not come from below. They come from somewhere else. Now, pursuing a fair and swift administration of justice. How? Okay, to enhance civil, criminal, commercial, and administrative justice system, to improve sector efficiency and accountability. Okay, so if you commit a crime, you have no other escape but to face the consequence of your act. Now, how about in promoting Philippine culture and values? To value or diverse cultures, it's recognized that we have different cultures. Okay, to inculcate values for a common good. Now, in fact, there's a subject. Okay, perhaps this was already not practiced as I observe in our younger generations, and I can even question if they really pass the subject in the elementary. The GMRC, Good Manners and Right Conduct. Some students who do not behave well, I ask them, did you pass that subject, GMRC? Okay, it's not an insult, but sometimes you can say that probably they lost that good manners and right conduct. Now, because of the present administration, there's a subject that they wanted to put it back there in the elementary, the good manners and right conduct. I think that's really good. Okay, and there should be more subjects like that. Probably not in elementary, but in the government. Okay, because some of them are not. They lost the values. They value money rather than integrity. To inculcate values for a common good. To advance pagkamalikhain or creative or value creative excellence. So we should be more creative. In what way? We should not depend on the products of other countries. Okay, the only way for me to become creative is to close our borders. Why? Because if we have this market around, what we need can just be delivered, like delivery from China, which actually right now I've heard is the cause of the spread of the virus because of the delivery coming from other country. When we open it, we don't know that there's actually a virus inside. So right now I stopped ordering gadgets from China. Okay, I ordered a booster just to increase increase my signal, but it may not be good. Actually, we don't know whether that box actually contain a live virus from other country. Okay, so if we're going to shut this down, close our border, probably we can make our own, like creating a booster or something that you need in the internet can be done by us. Only that when we look at the internet, or perhaps our DTI or government is not doing well, okay, in fact, it can be done to make, if there's really support from our government to make those electronic gadget. Okay, the only reason why we buy those items from other countries is because there's no support. No one make those items, but I'm sure it can be done. Okay, so right now the invention should focus on mga flying object like drones, but we do not have support over it. Okay, so that should have been supported by a government. Okay, in what way? They should buy or join you should let those local makers win in the bidding. Okay, not those companies that are foreign. To strengthen culture sensitive governance and development. Now, we go to the next, which is to expand economic opportunities in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries. Okay, this is the best actually. We should focus our attention in agriculture. After all, our country is an agriculture. More of the parts of our country are agriculture. When you look at the entire island of the Philippines, when you travel, I know you've been traveling, from one province to another boarding a plane, you can see that the island itself are actually agricultural. It's not developed. You can only see many people in the cities. Okay, so it's not equally developed. Okay, that's why if we should really, we should want, when we want to develop our country, is we should develop our agricultural sector. Okay, after all, in one theory of economics, agriculture is the food basket, is the number one source of economy. Now, I think I told you that most of our farmers right now, there was a survey, a research conducted where most of the farmers are now on their old age, and this is the reason why we have low income or low production of for agriculture, especially agriculture, because most of the farmers are now on their old age. Mga more or less 70% of the farmers are on their mga 60s and above years old. So what do you expect of the 60 years old doing farm works? They are not really productive. Why? Because they are not strong. They are weak. Where are those people stronger than those in the old age? They are in the city doing clerical work. So there's actually a mismatch. Okay, that job should have been for women. Okay, like typing, that is for women. Women cannot do farm work. Okay, although they say there should be an equality between man and woman, but you know, this physical structure in us is actually product of a long evolutionary process, which we adapt to it, and we call it as the gender inequality. Okay, I would say that there should be inequality in gender. No, I attended a genders seminar, but I did not recall it. When they would ask me how do I comment on that, you know, this being woman or man, and the nature of the work differs from man because of a long evolutionary process. The reason why men are strong is because we have to defend the territory. Basically, right from the start of the when man come to reason, well, before that we are actually brutal to other animals. There's even a Latin word which says that homo homini lupus est. It means that man is a wolf to other men, and the only way so that the other will be protected by us, because we're also wolf to them, is to come up with a social contract that's come from John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Okay, they originate the theory of the reason why we have laws because we want to protect ourselves. Okay, so because of that we are trained to fight to defend the territory. So the nature of our work really differs from women. Women basically for propagation of the species. So that is why they are in the house taking care of the children, and their body adapts to it. Says that they are not really that strong compared to men. Okay, that's why when they demand for equality, I cannot understand why they demand it in just a split of second, where in fact the inequality we have is actually product of a long process. We call it as evolution. Okay, siguro by nature, when laws are more protective to women, probably there will be more of equality. But right now, I don't think that it can be done in just a split of second. It's a long evolutionary process why we have this nature of job. The body itself adapts to environment and the nature of work itself. Now, now to increase and protect and access small farmers and fisher folks to land and water resources. Here, look at our country. We are bounded by waters. We're not like China or other countries where it's a mass of land. You cannot see a body of water. Okay, sometimes you die there in a place where you cannot even, in your lifetime, you have not seen a body of water. But in our country, look at it. It's an island, a body of water studded with islands, and we call it as Philippines. So our territory is the centermost. In fact, in one of the conference I attended, that Philippines is found in the triangle where the different corals, different ecosystem, okay, and marine life are varied. Okay, it's only found in the Philippines. And here we have different laws, okay, passed to farmers to prohibit them from getting or capturing those species. Okay, you know, when you understand evolution, species will evolve. Okay, now take it from me. This is not in the book because the book will tell you otherwise. But here, I've been contemplating on this one because I've been watching the sufferings of the fisher fox. I've been there, watched them, the poverty. There we have many laws, right? We have many laws prohibiting them to catch certain species. You know, that law is actually made by a legislator who do not even live in the area where where the law will be implemented. The point there is that we have laws that are actually killing those other people's livelihood. Okay, for example, ask yourself, why is it that in some countries the killing of dolphins is not even illegal? It's only in the Philippines and other some parts of the countries, other countries rather. Okay, and there are also prohibitions that would kill the livelihood of fishermen. Like there are species found in the area, and yet they are not allowed to get it. Otherwise, they will be facing a criminal charges. In other words, the laws we have is crafted by a legislator who do not experience the life of the farmers. So what is the effect? Only those people in perhaps in the city will survive. Okay? Can a farmer as well make a law prohibiting those living in the city to prohibit use of vehicles so that there will be equality, right? Can they do that? Can they pass a law as well that you are not allowed to use because that also destroys the environment? Okay, to be fair enough, I think that's a good law. Okay, because most of the time we make laws killing their own livelihood. You know, in the Survival of the Fittest, in the book of Charles Darwin, which I read, which I want you to read. Okay, I'm going. I want you to make comment on the article that I wrote. Okay, so please make comments so that you will have an activity that will be every Monday and Wednesday we're going to discuss. But every Monday I'm going to post an article that I wrote, so you may comment out of it. Now, here, in the book Survival of the Fittest, okay, and the origin of species, okay, actually we have our own livelihood in every place where we are born, and our body adapts to it. Okay, by the food around, that's the food that we're going to eat. You cannot make a law, okay, prohibiting us to get it. Why? Because that eventually kill those people living there who depend on it. Okay, just like, you know, a tarsier. Why is it that it's prohibited to be brought somewhere else? Because if you bring the tarsier in Bohol to somewhere else, the tarsier will die. Why? Because the body, the food are no longer around. They already adapt to it, to that environment. Now, if you're going to make a law that will probably prohibit or stop them from eating the species that they are used to, it is as if you're killing as well those people around. Okay? But after all, the species will evolve eventually and come up with another species. Okay? There's nothing to worry about having it as become endangered. Later on, there will be another kind of species. Take it from me, I've been reading evolution for I've read many books, 50 more, not less than 100 books on evolution, which I'm going to post later on. I want you to make comment. Okay, that is very important, especially when you administer. You don't understand these people around. Eventually, they're going to kill the people's livelihood. So I'm going to post later. You make a comment out of it. You read it. It's a product of my readings. Are you around?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now, how to expand economic opportunity in industry and services through trabajo and negosyo. One is to create local and foreign direct investment. So what does that mean? So we can invite investors. How? Of course, to compete with other country like China, for example, is to lower our payment, right? But you know that would eventually degrade the dignity of workers if we lower down the payment. But that's one way of inviting investors to lower down our labor. In China, they accept low payments, okay, but they have incentives from government, okay. And right now, most of the countries who are victims of the pandemic actually ordered or got their resources from China, like the things that you need now, like masks and other things are coming from China. So that is the effect. I think China now is comparable to the United States. United States now is going down in terms of economy. To increase competitiveness, innovativeness, and resilience, okay? To improve market access, ensure access to safe and quality of goods and services. How? Okay? Well, we have to develop, really, go into research. In what way? For example, the tire will blow up to 1 year. So you have to determine what's the cost of the blowing up of the tire. Just like in Japan, you have to really test it. What's the cost? Okay, and if they can see a portion that it burst, they're going to strengthen it. That's how they do it. That's how to develop equality. You have to really test which of this area in the tire that is really weak. Okay. By the way, when is our final exam? Okay, the faculty asked me. I don't know. There was no announcement.
11 to 14, sir, nasa kalendar.
January?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, huh? Because one of the faculty asked me. Now, so improve access to production networks, improve stakeholders access to finance. What do you mean by stakeholders? Meaning these are the people who will be affected. Like, for example, stakeholders of the union. What are those? Students, faculty, people, okay, private group or community, administration. Those are the stakeholders. These are the people who will be affected. Improve stakeholders' productivity, efficiency, and resilience. Accelerate human development. How? Guarantee care at all life stages. Okay. Ensure access through functional service delivery, sustain health financing, cross-cutting strategies for health to achieve quality, accessible, relevant, and liberating basic education for all. EFA, education for all. It's a vision actually of the world, okay, that everybody will become educated. Improve employability, okay, improve productivity, and enhance labor mobility and income security. Okay, so there will be programs later by different departments of the government on how to achieve this one, which we will discuss next meeting. Now, reducing vulnerability of individuals and families. How? To mitigate risk faced by vulnerable groups, to manage economic risk, to deal with natural hazards, So there will be more trainings on how people will become resilient and can adapt to the calamities that we will be facing every now and then. One of which is typhoon. Address governance and political risk, achieve a universal social protection. Okay. Now we go to building and secure communities. How to build and secure our communities. Expand the people's access to affordable, okay, adequate, safe, and secure shelter in a well-planned communities. So they're going now to build a community where flood will no longer be, and they cannot suffer flood. Probably they will be making subdivisions in the mountain. Okay. Now reaching for the demographic dividend, reduce mortality rate. Okay, most of the people now die at a very young age. Okay, how to reduce it? There's actually a technique which I got it from, because there's an island in Japan where they have the highest mortality rate. I mean, the lowest mortality rate rather, meaning they will die perhaps late 90s or 80s. The average for a woman to die in that place is 90, while men will die at 80 years old. Okay, so we will really die earlier than women. That's a fact. Okay, the reason perhaps because we are overburdened with work. Can you imagine men really work hard, while women sometimes just stay in the house? Okay, so it's the men. Of course, there are exemptions. Some women work as men, and the men just sit down drinking beer or liquor. But you know what was the technique of those who are living there? I'll tell you a secret. I got it from there. I've never been there, but I just read a book. Their stands that they have a community, and then they always walk. They eat fruits, of course, fruits and vegetables, and they never use sugar. They use sugar from natural sugar cane. Okay, so in the end, bottom line is the sugar is the number one killer. And when you have a community life, when you have a problem, you can talk to somebody that actually prolongs your life, and you should have a reason to live. Okay, there's a Japanese word of that, but I forgot. It's called the reason to live. Okay? Without that reason to live, your body deteriorates and eventually you will die. Okay, so there must be a reason. So find that reason. What's the reason to live? So you will last long. Okay, so it's one secret. Now, to fertility rate. What does that mean? Do you want to have more children? Maybe. Yeah, take note. Okay, I'm always against to books because of some experiences and what I observe. They would say that we are overpopulated, right? To compute the income of the country and the population, if we are many, of course, the income of the country, the GDP is really low. Okay, but take note that GDP or income cannot be felt by the people in the rural area. Okay, because they do not have problem. After all, the food they have is actually sufficient, and it's not even part or counted in the GDP. Okay, like what they eat, the food that they eat, they do not depend on other people. Well, it's not even counted as part of the GDP. Okay, now that's why they wanted that there should be a few people to really increase. But you know, this is not a good criteria to determine wealth. In some countries like India, the determinative of being wealthy is when you are fat. If you are fat, meaning you have you have food, you eat, meaning you are wealthy. In fact, it's attractive if you are fat because you have food in your table. Now, look at around. If you look at the entire country, there are only few places like Cebu City and Manila only are developed. Others are not developed. Okay, had we distribute this development, perhaps we can have a better society. Okay, equal society where people will not be envy with others. Now, this is my line of thinking. We need more people. Why? Because as soon as we have problem, these people can actually think of a solution. Okay, if we have few people, we cannot make a solution. For example, we had a problem of, let us say, the world now is overpopulated. It's now populated with so many people, and we wanted to solve it. How to solve it? We can perhaps go to other planet. Okay, and there are now many planets that they discovered, hundreds or maybe thousands or even millions of them that probably we can live. Okay, these are found in the exoplanets. Okay, in a solar system, the middle planets are the habitable zone where a human being and atmosphere is developed. And there are many of them that they discovered using a telescope, like they focus in the star, and if there is a change of the light, like if a planet passes by, and well, it will change the light of that star that they focus in their telescope. So eventually they will discover that there's a planet in it revolving around the sun or around a star. Okay, and they discovered many of that. Probably people can live there. Okay, and the only way to perhaps go to that place is when we have many people around who can think and solve the problem of overpopulation later on when the world will be overly populated. Right now, I think we really need more people. Only that, I don't know why people do not want, maybe in the city, do not want children, but if you are in the province, they want many children. Okay, farmers wanted to have more children to do the farm work. In fact, in the research, in the city, they want one children only, but in the province, they need more men to really help farm work. Okay, sa city, ang ilang mga anak is they like female. But in the province, they like more male. Why? Because this male can actually help do the farm work. Reduce youth unemployment, encourage saving, build up to strengthen integration of population and development. Okay, so we have vigorously advancing science and technology and innovation. In what way? Increase state utilization. Okay, developing industry and service sectors, enhance creative capacity of knowledge and technology generation, acquisition and adoptions to strengthen collaboration among actors of the ecosystem, enabling and support the economic environment. In what way? How to ensure sound macroeconomic policy, attain a responsible, strategic, and supportive fiscal sector to sustain a resilient and inclusive monetary and financial sector. Okay, in what way? Resilient and inclusive monetary and financial sector. Okay, right now people now tend to go to cryptocurrency. This is a modern trend now, which I'm going to perhaps research about cryptocurrency, because this is no longer about how much gold you have in your country. Okay, this cryptocurrency like Bitcoin actually affects the world, and in fact because it's not legal yet. Okay, so try to read more about it in cryptocurrency and how it affects the economy. Now, to implement a strategic external trade policy regime increase competitiveness of Philippine export, enhance trade facilitation, and strengthen linkages and connectivity. How to increase the competitiveness of Philippine export, making it more of quality rather than a quantity. Chinese sometimes, well, comparable compared to Chinese, our products might be of equal to them. Sometimes they would say that quality comes after quantity. Okay, when one is you have more, later on it will be developed, and it's no longer it's no longer on quantity but of the quality of materials. Enabling a supportive economic environment. Okay, leveling the playing ground or playing fields through a national competition policy to diminish anti-competitive practice. In what way? Like there are companies that instead of they will compete, they form they merge or they consolidate. Okay, that is a violation actually of the anti-competitive law. We want to have competition so that we can develop equality, okay, and better services, because these competitors will always go down. Otherwise, they will no longer be patronizing your product. Okay, for example, shipping. Let us say airline companies. Okay, before we have PAL, very famous, and and the fare is very high. Okay, when they have the competitor like Cebu Pacific, where it adapts to they even offer a 1 peso fare going to Manila. So what happened? People move to Cebu Pacific. All of them who are used to board or to avail of the services of PAL transferred to Cebu Pacific. Okay, so what happened? So they become bankrupt. Okay, only now that they recover. Many of employees from that company actually were retrenched. Okay, some were offered to retire at early age. Okay, some flights were even joined, like let us say 12 noon flights and 8 in the morning. They're going to delay and merge only on probably 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. Okay, but the passengers are those who booked on 9 a.m. Okay, that's why they say that PAL is a plane always late. Okay, PAL or INC, if it is not cancelled, sometimes they cancel the flight. How about in Cebu Pacific? What's the bad image of Cebu Pacific, as they say, to compensate the criticisms of the PAL? When you board in Cebu, you land in the Pacific. That's Cebu Pacific. But before, there's an olden career, okay, known as Asian Spirit. Okay, now it's the Jess Air. Okay, and the company owns the Jesso, and it comes from the from Cebu, the owner of the many of those businesses in Manila actually come from Cebu. Gokong Wei and Lucio Tan, I think they also study in Cebu. And it was the criticism that is when you board, you are a nation. When you fly, you are a spirit. Why? Because of so many accidents happen. They say it's a flying coffin, but now it's now equal with other competing companies. Why? Because of the competition, they develop themselves. Okay, only when there's a competition that the company will be developed eventually. Okay, like the fare really lowers down if there are competitors. Without competition, well, they just demand because you have no other choice but to avail of the services even if you do not like. Now, the foundation for sustainable development, attaining just and lasting peace. How? Negotiate and implement peace agreements with all internal armed conflict. Okay, so negotiation. That's the only way to solve the problem we have. Okay, if I were the president, I'm going to offer to the rebels what they want. If they are not employed, and that's the only reason perhaps why they are poor, because they are not employed, I will give them employment. Okay, that's what they should do. Okay, most of them were actually brainwashed in a long on the other side. Okay, they did not realize that these people are actually supported by some politicians, okay, or some groups who are supporting them, because eventually they will not fight without financial support from other groups. Okay. The foundation for sustainable development, ensuring security, public order, and safety. Uphold and protect territorial integrity and sovereignty. Okay, significantly reduce all forms of criminality and illegal drugs while they are successful in it. Only that people are used to it, so they will never stop. Okay, some kill each other because they some police even join. They were tempted to join it because of the monetary consideration for the income that they will get. Okay, so in fact that's the reason now policemen salary is increased. Okay, so that should not be a ground for you to do that illegal activity just to earn. In fact, this is the one I keep on telling, that the reason behind is our desire to have more. Without that, there will be no problem. It's because of that desire. So I think this should be subject in the college on the money and controlling for our desire. Okay? Because wherever you go and when you have that desire, well, it can really ruin the organization. To ensure public safety, ensure security and safety. Foundation for sustainable development, accelerating infrastructure to increase spending in the public infrastructure. In what way? Okay. Well, the driving force, or the way one way of developing the economy in terms of, let us say, pandemic, or when it's in crisis, is to spend on infrastructure. Okay, because the public infrastructure later on can actually derive income, aside from the income that the workers will earn. Let's say construction, this construction company will boom. Eventually, later on, when there will be offices that will be developed or used, it becomes an income generation of the economy. To implement strategic infrastructure programs and projects. Okay, to ensure asset preservation, intensify infrastructure-related research and development. Okay, so we should be more on research. Okay, as early as now, you should also be inclined to do research. By the way, our level 4 is we're now in level 4. Second revisit of the level 4, both MPA and DPA. And what really helps is my researches. Okay, so I've been thankful to my researches we have. I'm the highest in terms of research. Okay, it was really a factor. And another one, as I'm going to post as well, the project on cooperative development, because cooperative development is actually creating a corporation in the rural area. So it's very important to know how to develop it. Foundation. Next is foundation of a sustainable development, ensuring ecological integrity. Can you read, Kay? Wala si Kay. Who will read? Who's using a laptop? Can you read that one?
Kaning foundation of for sustainable development.
Yes, yes.
Wait lang, for a while. Tang. Foundation for sustainable development, ensuring ecological integrity, clean and healthy environment, to sustain biodiversity and functioning of ecosystem services, expand the development of sustainable resource-based industries, including forests, fish, marine and genetic resources, promote and develop ecotourism and cultural sites. Mainstream ecosystem values international and local development planning by institutionalizing ecosystem valuation and natural resource monitoring system and developing a policy for payments for ecosystem services.
Okay, take the word ecosystem. In other country, the highest income that they have comes from actually tourism. Okay, so we should develop this one because our country, as I mentioned, is surrounded by a body of water, so we should as well develop this one. Okay, forest, fish, marine, genetic resources. Now, so ensuring ecological integrity, clean and healthy environment. How to improve environmental quality, increase adaptive capabilities and resilience of the ecosystem. So more or less, we should be more adaptive to and resilient to the ecosystem, like other calamities. So, well, it's actually a part of what I've said, that we have to adapt our body to the place where we live. So what is Ambition 2020? What is Philippine Development Plan? Comes from the sources from the NEDA. So we will discuss next meeting the medium-term development plan.